When the skies turn red and the sirens cry, we found each other in the world's last light. Through the ashes and the ruins, you're my star. My darling, my sweetheart, no matter how far.
Oh baby, let's dance where the shadows glow. The Geiger count is ticking, but I love you so. In this wasteland of dreams, we'll make it through.
It's been over 15 years since Fallout New Vegas released, and it blows my mind just how the modding community continues to add new features and fully remaster the entire game. But if you ever tried modding yourself, you already know the entire process can be extremely cumbersome. Conflicts, crashes, texture bugs, load orders, etc. And that's where Wildcard comes in. So today we're going to dive deep into probably one of the most extensive mod lists out there, FNV Wildcard. What it changes, how it plays, and why it might just be the best way to experience Fallout New Vegas in 2025. So what is Wildcard and where do you start? Wildcard is simply a complete collection of mods pre-tested and configured to work together, and it's built for Wabbajack, which means you don't have to manually install hundreds of mods one by one. You just have to follow the setup guide. But
before I tell you, I need you to keep reminding yourself that this is simple. Your gut instinct is going to be screaming a big fucking no, and I need you to suppress that instinct and remind yourself that this is simple.
You'll want to go ahead and head over to the Nexus Mods page. Again, the link will be in the description. Once you're here, we'll click on the description tab and we'll keep scrolling down until we get to the getting started section. So we'll go ahead and click show, and in the getting started section there is a complete installation video guide, so you guys can watch the video side by side. But for all the other people who want to read, that's okay too, but just make sure you don't miss anything that you read. Okay, so make sure you go over all of the steps. Now once you're done with this section, we'll go ahead and scroll down to the FNV setup, and this is the entire installation procedure right here. So you'll want to make sure you read this very thoroughly, and as you can see, it's a pretty extensive long list, so you're gonna have to buckle in and just make sure to read this entire guide. The cool thing about this mod is that there is a Discord, so if you scroll down a little bit, it'll say support and Discord. Now you can join the Discord, and I'm pretty sure that there is people in there that will help you out. And also, I just wanted to mention the fact. So if you scroll down a little bit more, there's a fact. We'll click show, and it looks like they have some troubleshooting steps here. So if you run into any sort of weird thing going on, here's another guide. It's another tool. But once you follow everything, you'll be set to go. In a couple hours, you'll have a nice fully configured mod list for Fallout New Vegas. So once you get into the Wabbajack section in the installation guide, in order to use the one-click automated download through Wabbajack, you will need a Nexus Premium membership account, which is about $9 a month, but you can cancel it at any time, which is what I ended up doing. You can attempt to try and download each mod in the mod list for free, but there is a massive caveat here, and that is you will have to manually click one by one each mod that comes up in the list. And again, there's over 1,000 mods in here, so good luck doing that. One of the best things about Wildcard is that it's about choice. It's built around the idea that everyone has a different vision of what New Vegas should feel like. Some people want immersion and survival, others just want better graphics and performance, and some want a post-apocalyptic nightmare. Others want the original charm with modern polish. To fit all that, Wildcard comes with 5 major profiles. There's Vanilla Plus mode, a polished version of the base game. It feels exactly like classic New Vegas, just smoother, prettier, and bug-free. Wildcard mode, the flagship profile, which is the one I mostly played. It's an enhanced experience that reimagines almost every system while keeping the soul of the game intact. Classic mode leans hard into the old school Fallout experience. Harsher survival elements, slower combat, and more deliberate pacing. Modern mode for players who want something closer to Fallout 4 or even Fallout 76 in terms of gunplay, UI, and visuals. And finally, Dust mode, which is a full-on nightmare that will give you PTSD, inspired by a mod called Dust Survival Simulator. It transforms the Mojave into a brutal survival horror experience where humanity is basically extinct. Every profile feels like its own version of the game, and the best part, you can switch between them whenever you want. Let's talk about what makes Wildcard tick. First, the visuals. Fallout New Vegas wasn't exactly a looker, even when it was new, but Wildcard completely reworks the visuals with a mix of texture overhauls, lighting mods, and environment tweaks. You'll see sharper landscapes, realistic lighting, and cleaner interiors, all while keeping that gritty, dusty aesthetic the Mojave is known for. Mods like New Vegas Redesigned, Mojave Flora Project, and improved LODs breathe life into the desert. Nighttime actually feels dark and dangerous. The strip finally looks alive with neon that pops against the sky. The gameplay overhaul is where it really shines. Combat gets a complete rework thanks to mods like Just Assorted and Stewie's tweaks. Guns feel heavier, enemies react more dynamically, and movement feels more fluid. I mean, it's not Call of Duty fast, but it's far less clunky than vanilla New Vegas. UI and quality of life are also fully revamped. You've got modern HUD layouts, cleaner fonts, and Pip-Boy interface. What's always made New Vegas unforgettable is its atmosphere, and Wildcard knows that. The list includes dozens of immersion mods that bring the world to life. You'll notice it the moment you step out of Doc Mitchell's house. Towns feel busier, the sky feels heavier, the colors sharper, and the desert stretches out with a sense of depth and life that the original engine could never quite deliver. The mod list enhances weather systems, lighting behavior, and ambient soundscapes, so that every environment tells its own story. Interiors are more atmospheric, nights are truly dark, and environmental sounds shift depending on where you are. Then there's the reworked survival mechanics. With the addition of hardcore mode, you'll have to look after your hunger, thirst, and fatigue, making you think twice before sprinting across the Mojave without water or running through radiation storms unprepared. One of the cool things about Wildcard is that it doesn't force realism. It gives you the tools to tune your own realism. You can make it as immersive as you want or as brutal as you want. The biggest selling points of Wildcard is how it transforms familiar places. You'll revisit Good Springs, Novak, Freeside, and the Strip, but they'll feel new again. Thanks to environmental overhauls and layout tweaks, settlements and cities feel more believable and connected. The biggest change you'll notice comes from a mod called Simple Open Strip, which removes many of the old loading barriers and turns the New Vegas Strip into a seamless space. You can walk from gate to gate without fade to black screens or awkward pauses. It sounds small, but it completely changes how you experience the strip. It finally feels like a real continuous part of the city. Other areas get similar treatment as well. Towns have more clutter, better lighting, and environmental storytelling. Abandoned buildings aren't just empty shells anymore. They've been redressed with props, debris, and small interactive details that make exploration rewarding. Speaking of rewards, you'll find new weapons and armor to play with, but not in a way that breaks balance. Everything feels earned and integrated. Now, if you've modded New Vegas before, this is probably where you're a bit skeptical, because let's be honest, modded New Vegas and stability don't usually belong in the same sentence. The game's old engine was never built for this kind of load, but with modern fixes, Wildcard manages to make the experience surprisingly smooth. The creators of Wildcard have put major effort into optimizing the mod list. Many assets are compressed, scripts tested, and textures resized for performance. Players report it runs well on modern hardware when properly configured, With some tweaks you may get it working reasonably on older systems, though as with all heavy mod lists, results will vary. Now wildcard isn't perfect, crashes are still prevalent but oftentimes rare, at least for me. I don't know every mod on the list, but I cannot reliably play in VR mode with a decent frame rate. If you're having similar issues, I would just play in performance mode, but you can also customize the reshade by pressing home, and there's additional details that you can adjust by pressing end on your keyboard. The load times on this mod are really good, especially when you're using an SSD, and autosaves are handled safely. You should be able to play for hours without worrying about corrupt saves or weird scripting loops. All in all, I think that the performance is actually pretty decent considering how many mods are in the mod pack. The main beauty of Wildcard is just how modular it is. While the profiles are pre-built, you can still tweak and adjust nearly everything. The launcher gives you control over visuals, difficulty, gameplay mechanics, and even UI preferences. The load order for Wildcard has already been tested for stability, so it works right out of the box. If you want to experiment with your own mods, just clone your profile first, that way you can tweak things without risking your main setup. Mod Organizer 2 lets you create and restore backups of your Wildcard setup, so you can roll things back without doing a full reinstall. At the end of the day, Wildcard isn't just about making Fallout New Vegas look better or run smoother. It's about giving you freedom, the freedom to experience one of the best RPGs ever made in modern times. And it's also a reminder of how strong this community still is. 15 years later after release, people are still rebuilding, expanding, and perfecting a game that most studios would have forgotten by now. That's what makes Fallout New Vegas and projects like Wildcard so special. If you're ready to rediscover a true classic video game, Wildcard might be your ticket. I'll link everything you need in the description. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to leave a like and share it with your friends. I'm a one-man team on this channel and it takes a lot of work to get these videos out, so I would greatly appreciate the support. As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.